Hello, my name is Christina Williams and I'm the Director of Operations for Coach Across America. And this is the Coach Service Hours video, and today we're going to be talking about how to input and manage your AmeriCorps member service hours through the My Service Log system. My Service Log is an online system that's going to efficiently and securely capture your timesheets. And the timesheets are the binding contract between you as the coach, the staff of your host site, us at Up to Us, and it's the sole documentation of your completed service. So it's really important that you both understand and follow any rules and regulations around the timesheets. And today we're going to talk about all of those things. In this session, we're going to cover a bunch of different topics. We're going to go over how and where to log in, how to complete your coach profile, how to change your password, which is something that we definitely recommend that you do, how to complete your hour logs, that's the timesheets, what you can and can't count as service hours, how to submit your timesheets to your site supervisor, and how and when to print your monthly logs, and also how to add training events which are not already listed in your hour logs. Logging in is really simple. You're going to go to this website, coach.myservicelog.org. You're going to enter your email address as your username, and then the password is the 6-digit number that was sent to you in an email from My Service Log. So this is your home page, and from this page, in this bar here, the coach menu bar, you can navigate to everywhere you need to go to in My Service Log. You'll see here, this is your homepage tab, and here you'll find messages from your site supervisor or from me, and also the My Status bar. We'll go over that some more in a second. Here's also where you find where to go to log your hours, and here is where you go to add training events. Once you hit the coach profile, this is where you'll go in just a second to change some important documents. But I want to point out the My Status bar. This is a great way for you to keep track of your running total of the hours that you have remaining in your service. It'll also tell you what hours your host site supervisor has already approved. And any messages here of hours that, there's a question about your hours, this is where you'll find that information. Okay, so go to your coach profile. You're going to click this link, and this is the page that's going to come up. You'll see that there are 4 tabs: General, Contact, Documentation, and Enrollment. I need you to fill out as many of these fields as you can and fill out as much information as possible. And this is also the page where you change your password. You see it right here. It'll list the 6-digit number that is your password, and you can change it to something that's easy for you to remember. If you forget your password between now and then, you can always contact me and I can give it to you. Next, we're going to talk about navigating over to the hour logs. That's again under the coach menu. It's the 4th one down, hour logs. Click there to navigate. There are 2 tabs on this page, log entry and report. We're going to be dealing with the log entry page for now. Here's where you enter your hours, minutes, the date. And this is really important. This is the primary service position. You're going to have to choose where to assign your hours. And we'll talk in just a second about what your 2 options are for the service agreement. It's going to be your primary coaching and your auxiliary non-coaching. And we'll talk about these in just a second. So there's a really handy calendar view at the bottom that will help you keep track of the days that you've already entered hours for and days you need to enter hours for. Let's talk for a second about service agreements. When you click on this primary service position, this drop-down menu, this is where you assign, what category you're going to submit your hours to. So there are 2 different types. One is the primary coaching. And you're going to use this option to describe time you spend coaching or mentoring youth. You'll also use this option to describe time you spend preparing to coach or mentor youth. And then any other time that you're spending is pretty much going to be allotted to the auxiliary non-coaching. And this describes any time you spend working on projects that are assigned by your host site. There are 2 little things that are a little tricky in My Service Log, and this is one of them. If there are many days when you're probably going to have to enter 2 logs. Say, for example, you spend 4 hours, 1 hour preparing and 3 hours coaching. That's going to be 4 hours. You'll put it here, and then you're going to collect primary coaching and then hit this add hour log. But then you also spent 3 hours, say, working toward volunteer recruitment at your host site. So you'll have, for the same day. So you'll have to enter those hours here and then hit it again. So you can see you may have to have 2 different log entries for the same day. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so what counts as service hours and what doesn't? This is an important concept to understand. Of course, anytime you spend coaching, working with youth, time spent working on those host site appointed projects, and also time spent commuting from your host site to your service site or service site to your host site. What doesn't count? Obviously, lunch is really important. Never count lunch as a service hour. Breaks, holidays, time spent commuting from your home to your service site in the morning or afternoon, and time spent commuting from your host site to your home at the end of your day cannot count as service hours. If you have any question about hours that you're trying to count and you don't know if they should count or not, please contact either me or your site supervisor. Okay, you're going to need to submit your hours for approval to your site supervisor. In order to do that, you're going to navigate back to the hour log page, and then you're going to click the report tab at the top here. And then you'll see there's usually at the top of each page a tab called Available Actions is a drop-down menu, and here you can click to submit your hours for approval. Once you do that, a pop-up menu will come up, and you'll have the option to write a note to your site supervisor if you have a question about something. You can put that there, and also this is where you can print your monthly sheets. A couple of due dates to remember. Tuesdays are the due dates by close of business for your week's previous hours. I recommend that you enter your hours daily, and then you're going to be submitting them on by Tuesday of the following week for the previous week. And then monthly, you're going to need to print out your whole month's worth of hours. And you can do that by going to this site, and I recommend hitting the print PDF. You're going to need to print, sign, and then deliver these timesheets to your site supervisor. He or she will keep them in your member file, and this is really critical because these are the timesheets that can be audited when you're wrapping up your service. So the corporation may ask to see these timesheets before they award your education award. So this is really critical. Okay, next. And this is the final tricky thing to my service log. You'll need to add training events in order to capture training hours in your hour log. So in order to do that, you'll need to do 2 things. You're going to navigate to the training events, which is here under the coach menu, last one. You'll click that button, and then this is the page that will come up, and you'll go to the available actions menu. It'll drop down, hit add event. When you do that, this page will come up. It's a really simple sheet. You're going to title your training event. So for example, if you went to the Training Institute, you're going to enter Coach Across America Training Institute and just a really brief description. At this event, at this training event, I spent, time, on sports-based youth development issues or whatever, or this could be AmeriCorps orientation. This was an orientation to required AmeriCorps topics, period. Don't worry about any of these things. You will need to enter the date and time. The primary topic area is always going to be sports-based youth development. I think it's the 7th one down in the drop-down menu here. And that's it. You'll just hit the save button, and then this training event will appear in your hour log, and you'll be able to choose it and record hours against it. So something to keep in mind, you can only do 1 day at a time. So if you have a multiple day training event, like the Training Institute, you'll have to add a training event for each day. So for the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Okay, that's it. Today we've covered how to log into your My Service Log, how to change your coach profile, how to change your password, where to log your service hours, what you should and should not count as service hours, how to submit your weekly logs, etc., and how to add a training event.